We finally made it to the city, you guys. We finally made it, and it's full of ugly apartments. So I guess the only thing left to do is to fix them all up. So you guys, welcome to my new series. This is Love It or List It. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new series on my channel. My name is Ashley for those of you who have not met me yet, and I usually do base game speed build videos, but today we are introducing a brand new type of video to my channel. So I don't want to ramble on too long. I feel like this series is pretty straightforward, but basically I'm going to be renovating all of the apartments that come with the City Living expansion pack in San Myshuno, I believe. So let's jump right into the first apartment that we're going to renovate, and then I'll explain the series a little bit more in detail later. So the first house we're going to tackle is 19 Culpepper House, and this one is in the Spice Market, or the Spice District. So it has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and the weekly rent is 600 simoleons. So it is pretty affordable, I guess. So since this is a little bit more of an affordable apartment, I'm only going to be giving myself a budget of 12,000 simoleons to completely fix up this place. So let's look at what we have to work with here. Okay, firstly, when you walk in, I see some carpet. No, we're gonna rip out the carpet. We don't want the carpet. Let's put hardwood everywhere. And those awful countertops and cabinets, we're definitely gonna get rid of those and replace them. You know, while we're talking about the kitchen, the fridge and the stove is kind of sad as well. Those are pretty important appliances, so I think we can definitely spend the money to upgrade those a little bit, because those are kind of gross. The kitchen table and chairs, not a huge fan of that. I think we should put in an island instead. I think that'll be a lot prettier. Some things that we can keep in the kitchen though are like the sink, the microwave, and the hood fan. Like those are completely fine. We can definitely reuse those. Onto the living space, this couch is super outdated, kind of gross. We're definitely going to be replacing that. And I mean, the coffee table and the TV stand are exactly the same. I think that's a little bit weird. They bought 2 of those for some reason. So we're gonna keep the TV and the piano. Those are totally fine. I like those. Now onto the bathroom, the bathtub and the toilet we'll definitely keep. Maybe we'll just change the color or something to make it all white. But for the most part, the bathroom appliances are, you know, reusable. There's nothing totally wrong with them. The beds aren't bad. We might be able to keep those and maybe just change the, you know, bedspread duvet covers a little bit, but maybe if we have enough money we'll buy some new beds because they're not super nice. So this whole desk and computer setup I think is totally fine. Maybe just give the desk a little paint job and then possibly move that desk and computer area into a more communal area instead of it just being in one room so that everyone can use it. And I really like that bookshelf, so we're definitely going to keep that bookshelf. So you guys, this apartment definitely needs a lot of work, but I think it already comes with a lot of furniture that we can reuse and repurpose into the new apartment. We just have to give some things a little bit of a paint job, and the rest of the furniture we can sell to add to our budget. Okay, so now that we know what we have to work with and kind of what the game plan is, let's jump right into the renovation with a budget of only 12,000 simoleons. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed the little intro at the beginning of this episode. That's kind of how I want to structure all of these episodes moving forward, kind of having a little walkthrough of the house in the beginning to see what we have to work with instead of just going and deleting everything right away. Because the whole point of this renovation series is I want to make it kind of as realistic as possible. So I am going to be restricting myself to a budget every episode, and then also trying my best to repurpose the furniture that's already included in the house when you get it. So rather than just deleting everything and starting fresh with unlimited money, I wanted to make it a little bit more realistic in that sense. So the way that I'm going to be calculating the budget will be different depending on what district. I figured since we started in the Spice Market or the Spice District first, they are a little bit more on the affordable side, so the budgets would be a lot smaller. Whereas when we move to maybe nicer areas, I'll give myself a little bit of a bigger budget. But I think every episode is a little bit of a challenge in that sense, so it's not supposed to be super easy. So I don't want to just give myself a big budget because that defeats the purpose. So that pretty much sums up the ground rules of this series. I hope you guys are excited for this series. I've been looking forward to it for a really long time. I was really excited to get this pack as someone who played base game for a long time. City Living was one that I really wanted. So if any of you only have base game plus City Living, I hope you guys are excited for this series. Also, if you guys don't know, Love It or List It, the title of this series is actually based off of a show that was actually filmed in my city. It's a renovation show where they take somebody's house and they try and fix it up with a budget, and then at the end, the homeowners decide whether they love the house and they want to keep it, or they want to list the house and they want to sell it and go buy something new. Really early on in my earlier videos, I actually talked about wanting to do an interior decorating series where I didn't build, but I mainly just focused on the furnishing because I really do love furnishing. So I was really excited to prepare this new series, and it has been in the works for a very, very long time. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And I know it's not anything new. Pretty much every single Sims YouTuber does apartment renovations, but I thought I'd put my own kind of personal spin on it by adding a really strict budget to this renovation, and also B, repurposing and reusing the furniture that already comes with the EA apartments here. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you think about this new series in the comments down below, and thank you guys so much for watching. So another change that I want to make to this apartment that I forgot to mention earlier is I want to add a second bathroom. I think that would be a really good addition to this apartment because currently there's only one bathroom. So future intros to this series will be shorter. It's just because I had to kind of introduce the series and explain it a little bit, but I promise in the future they will get a lot shorter. But I hope you guys really like this new series. I definitely thought about it for a really long time and had to kind of figure out how I wanted to structure it in terms of how I would film and edit it. So I wanted to kind of make it kind of similar to the way the TV show does it, where they show the before and then the after and stuff like that. So I focused a lot on the kind of production value of this series to kind of make it feel like a TV show. So I hope you guys see the amount of kind of editing that went into these types of videos versus just my regular speed builds where I just, hop right into building and stuff like that. I also noticed this about myself, that all of my videos are always a challenge. So like with my base game builds, I do own other packs, but I always do base game for a variety of reasons, of course, but one, because it's a challenge. And the same thing with this series. I could have just done, renovations with unlimited budget, but instead, I wanted to kind of restrict myself a little bit and, again, make it a challenge. And then the same thing with my first LP that I did back at Christmas. It was also a challenge. It was a homeless challenge. So like, as you guys can see, I really like to challenge myself. I think that's most of where the fun comes from, is from like a challenge. Like, I don't just want to make things easy. Obviously that's fun too, but I think just for creating content for YouTube and just for myself having to do it every week, it is more fun when it's challenging. So I didn't really notice that until I was kind of editing it and looking at all the videos that I've posted so far. I was like, oh yeah, my entire channel is based around challenging things. So I think that adds a little bit of value, or at least I hope that adds a little bit of value to my channel and kind of entices you to come back, I hope. But as you can see, we did end up brightening up the apartment a lot, especially by painting a lot of things white, and then also with those white/beige kind of countertops, and making the kitchen open concept into the kind of office-y area to the living area. So the place definitely looks a lot bigger. It's hard to imagine that that's the same apartment. Like, it was so tiny before, it seemed like, but now there's definitely a lot more space. And then you can see I kept the walls gray at first because that's what it just came with, and I liked the neutral kind of light grayness of it, but then I struggle a lot to kind of pick a wallpaper or pick a paint color for the walls. I always do this for some reason. I like furnish it first with like neutral or white walls, and then I try and pick a wall color afterwards, and it never works out for me because it's like, sometimes the wall color, as you can see me cycling through all of these, it can really, completely change the mood of the room. So it's almost best to choose your wall color beforehand and then decorate accordingly. But I always, for some reason, do it the other way around. So I'm kind of stuck trying to find a wall color that, goes with the furniture I already chose without it completely like ruining the vibe that I was going for. So in fact, the wall colors that you see here aren't even the ones I end up going with, so at the end I change it again last minute. Surprisingly, I didn't use a ton of city living furniture in this build. I mean, I do use, quite a few, but I didn't like fill the entire apartment with only City Living furniture because I want to, you know, incorporate base game and City Living because that's what this series is about. It's about base game plus City Living renovations. So, you know, I didn't go too crazy with the City Living stuff, but I definitely like the little wall divider that I used to divide kind of the office / kitchen area and the living room. I really like that. I thought that was super cute. And I think one of the main challenges I found with having a budget is, you know, you really miss out on the clutter and the kind of extra decorations that really complete a house. So like the plants and the paintings on the wall and stuff like that, and then just little clutter stuff that you would usually fill little end tables and stuff with. You can't really spend the money on that anymore because, you know, as you can see, I run out of money completely at the end. So that's something that I found was the hardest part. So if the apartment looks, you know, a little bit not empty, but kind of missing that little homey touch, that's really where I lacked in the budget, is adding those little tiny things at the end. But of course, that's the whole point of this. It can't be, you know, the perfect apartment, but what do you guys think? You guys have to let me know down in the comments. Would you love this place or would you list it? Because that's what they do in the show. At the end, they say, you know, are you going to love it and keep it, or are you going to list it and find something new? So let me know what you guys think down below. Love it or list it. Or maybe I'll even put a poll. I'll maybe put a poll up here and you guys can vote and see how many people actually vote. But here is where you see I really start to run out of money. I start like having to sell other things in the apartment to accommodate other things, and I was even taking those really, really cheap paintings that are tiny and like sizing them up so that they're big, so that they take up more space on the wall and stuff like that, and really just, you know, trying to use my budget to the best that it could be used. And I think that it turned out pretty well. And then really at the end, while I do like how kind of white and bright this apartment is, I did feel like it lacked a little bit of color. So firstly, I add the kind of white exposed brick, which I think adds a little bit of texture and is kind of really cute, goes with the vibe really well, I think. And then later you see I end up changing a little bit of the walls to a light blue just to kind of match the carpet by the office and add a little bit more color. So I think that turned out really pretty. Well, you guys, that concludes episode 1 of Love It or List It and our renovation of 19 Culpepper House. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you saw today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below what you thought about this episode and what you think about this series. And if this is your first time meeting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to be friends or if you want to see more weekly Sims 4 renovation videos on my channel. I'm going to be uploading these once per week at the same time every week, so I will see you guys all next week. Bye everyone!